What's up, friends? Welcome to The Beautiful Mess, where we talk about tools and tactics to improve your life. I'm your host, Paul Dittus, a content creator, YouTuber, podcaster, and super excited to be talking to you today. And, you know, life can be messy. And I actually wanted to start this podcast off with a couple of songs. As you might know or may not know, I am a musician, so music holds a special part in my heart. And the first song that I will quote for you is from Jack Johnson, the one and only Jack Johnson. He was one of my favorite artists growing up. I just feel like he's got like a unique vibe, laid back, loves surfing, you know, good stuff. So he often like introduces an idea or maybe something that needs to be looked at in a deeper lens. In a unique artistic way, as many musicians do. But this one refrain has kind of always stuck with me. Back when CDs were a thing, this song, I forget the name of the album. I want to say it's the same one that he's got, maybe Banana Pancakes or Bubbly Toes and all that good stuff. But this song is called Inaudible Melodies. Highly recommend checking it out. And Jack Johnson, if you haven't heard of Jack Johnson, please do yourself a favor and check out Jack Johnson. Just a marvelous artist. Really enjoy his stuff. So the refrain of Inaudible Melodies goes like this: slow down, everyone. You're moving too fast. Frames can't catch you when you're moving like that. And again, slow down, everyone. You're moving too fast. Frames can't catch you when you're moving like that. I mean, I think it's kind of self-explanatory, but as a creator, that line, frames can't catch you, definitely holds a lot more interesting value to me, because when you're shooting on a camera, you know, usually you have your frame rate that you're shooting at. And so if you have like a fast shutter speed, it's going to click real fast. And if you have a slow shutter speed, it's going to take a while for it to take in the image. But generally speaking, a shutter speed is like, you know, it's really fast. It goes, it hits it, and it's gone. And so the idea is that like we're moving so fast in life now that even a camera can't catch you, you know. And I think it's, you know, kind of a way of viewing life that nowadays, do we have time to reflect on the importance of what we're doing and the meaningfulness of it in light of our whole lives? So I really like that song. You know, so maybe it's a message to slow down and reevaluate what you're doing. And then in contrast, the other song that I wanted to mention is actually maybe about going faster. And this is a quote from Hamilton by Lin-Manuel Miranda. Just love this song. I mean, just love the musical in general. Like that's, you know, it's one of my favorite musicals recently. I've been listening to it a bit. If you're part of my email list, I sent out kind of a video from Lin-Manuel where he kind of dives into some of the aspects of creating and his thought about Hamilton, Alexander Hamilton. And he had this like itch to like go after life. You know, he was just like so intense. Like he you know, he wrote like he was running out of time. And this is where the song comes in. It's called Nonstop. And it goes like this: how do you write like you're running out of time? Write day and night like you're running out of time. Every day you fight like you're running out of time. How do you write like tomorrow won't arrive? How do you write like you need it to survive? How do you write every second you're alive, every second you're alive, every second you're alive? And so like his intensity, that song is just like kind of explains how he was so determined in life to like make something of his life, and that he would, he was determined to make that work happen. And like he was on a mission. Like he was so driven that like he wouldn't get distracted from making sure that he was, doing his part. In particular, how do you write like you need it to survive? That line in particular, like how do you need it so much that it's like it's kind of part of you breathing? How much of us can how many of us can say like we wake up and like we need it to survive, kind of like that? That's how like engaged you are in whatever you're doing. Like you need it to survive. Like your intensity towards life is so like intense that you need it to survive. And I feel like that's a great way of like looking at life. It's like you are so like you're loving every moment of your life that you like it's just like brings you this joy and energy, and you're just so excited that like it brings you life, and you kind of need it to survive, and so it's like if you're not living in a way that you're so excited about what you're doing, what can you do to get closer to that? It's not going to be like an overnight change, but hey, maybe start like writing, just like documenting. I actually went back. This was kind of crazy. Like just maybe 2-3 days ago, I was like looking through my Google Docs, and back when I did the internship with Corey Hyman from Likeable Art, I remember I read the book Overlap. And in that, he recommends waking up, like saying, you're not a person that quits. The Sean West, he's like, you're not a person that quits. So, you're going to commit for the next 30 days. You're going to wake up at a particular time and you're just going to sit down and write. And I went back and I found one of those writings. I was just like, did I write that? I was like almost questioning whether or not I wrote it. I mean, I'm sure it's nothing like Alexander Hamilton would write, but I was just impressed. I was like, one, I wrote something. Two, I don't know. I was proud of it. Like, I was like, man, what am I doing now? Like, I should totally be writing more, so that like later in life, I can kind of look back and kind of see how things have progressed. Like it was fascinating. This was during the time when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do next in life, when I was trying to figure out what the next steps would be. And I can tell, like now going back, it's like, it kind of helps clarify things. Writing, it's just very therapeutic, even if you don't ever go back to look at it. I believe actually Jordan Peterson, I need to do this, but he's got like this self-authoring series. It seems very fascinating. And I think it's kind of a similar concept where like once you put things on a page, you get this sense of clarity and your mind can kind of grasp it in a new way than like if you're just looking at, you're just going through life without time to reflect, time to step back. And so I think like there are elements of our life where we go super fast, like where frames can't catch you when you're moving like that, where you don't have time to reassess things. That's how I felt when I was in my job. And I just felt stuck. And before I made the change to a new field, I just felt like I didn't have time to handle this. And it was actually kind of thanks to the pandemic that I had time. It was like kind of a moment because I was like ready for a change. I was so ready. And the pandemic happened and I was like, this is it. This is my chance to make a big leap. And I took advantage of that. And I'm so glad I did because, in that time, I had the ability to slow down, find a direction to start going in. and I kind of put things together so that it would happen. I contacted Corey from Likeable Art. And the amazing thing is, because of the pandemic, he was willing to have me intern with him outside of the usual, because normally he has interns come to him. But if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have been able to make the big change that I did. And I'm so grateful for that. And that gave me the time to even consider, reading that book that Corey recommended and writing. And so, yeah, I had this thing that I would wake up at 6 a.m. I think I labeled one of the Google Docs 6 a.m. or the folder, because that was the time I would wake up and I'd just sit down on the computer and just start writing. So dare to ask yourself the big questions of life, and ask yourself, there's two questions that I'm going to pose to you that might be a good place for you to start journaling if you've never journaled before, or just something to reflect on, even if you don't have the time, maybe you're driving or whatever. But the first question I pose to you is, what areas of your life do you need to slow down on? What areas of your life are you moving too fast? So that's one question. And some of the things that you might consider are like, for example, maybe you're saying yes automatically and you're going in a direction that you don't want to go in. What would your life look like if all of a sudden you said no instead? And that you decided, hey, my life is going in a new direction, one that's positive for me and those around me. So that's one way. Number two is like your social media usage. Are you moving too fast there? Like, do you need to take a step back? Actually, there's an app that I'll recommend to you, two apps that I've been using. One is called 1 Sec, like the second, 1 Sec. And basically what it does is it slows down your ability to get into an app. In this one in particular, it has like this thing that goes up and it says, take a breath. And then it goes back down and it shows you how many times you tried to access that app. And I think just having that number like confront you, and then that second, like just like 6 seconds, I think it is, before it allows you to click in. It is just enough time for you to reflect like, hey, is this important? Do I really or should I be using this right now? And so I've used that, as well as Screen Zen. I believe some of these apps, I don't know if they're quite out for Android yet, but I believe they might be making an Android version for at least one of those. So look out for that if you're on Android. It's just like both of those apps just give you a second to like reconsider, like when you're opening an app that you might mindlessly open. And I found that like I've significantly, like I've gone into my settings and seen like how much I use certain apps, and I'm just like blown away. That simple change has like reduced my like phone usage. And I'll be completely honest, I don't know if I'm going to end up keeping these apps or like, changing it up. But right now, the change that it's allowed for me to have more time to focus on things that are more important, it's been amazing. Like I can't tell you like the transformation that it's had. It's kind of allowed me to, have more time for the things I feel like are more important and more enriching, and not just mindlessly get sucked into those apps that are, might be addicting or, take you away from the present moment. The other thing would be like your pace of life, and to give yourself room to think and plan out your next steps. I got to that point where I was just going, and I just couldn't. I don't know. It's just like you get to a point where it's just like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time to like take a step back and look at the bird's eye view. And when you're in that point, it's just like, what are you going to do with your life if you can't you have to make time for those important things. But I know the feeling when you're in the trenches and you're just like going, living moment by moment and just feel like, this is insane. Like, I don't have time to like just take care of these basic necessities. I've got the same 5 things on my to-do list that were on there last week and the week before that. So, maybe you need to rethink what's on your to-do list. Maybe some of those things aren't actually that important. Or maybe you need to take some things off of that and focus on others. And then also maybe think how you can slow down certain times of your day, like meal times. It can be very easy to be on your phone, be, doing something else while you're eating a meal instead of maybe appreciating those around you or enjoying the food in front of you. Maybe take a moment to slow down and enjoy the good things in front of you. And then, wind down before bed or like whatever it is. Just like think maybe there's a time of day where you can just create a little bit more slowness, a little more stillness, more silence. There's many health benefits to silence. And then the second question, we're going to change things up a little bit. We're going to ask, what areas of your life do you need to move faster on? I'm probably one of the people that naturally gravitates towards those like slow down kind of things. But at the same time, I'm trying to like counterbalance that sometimes because I know I have that tendency sometimes to like slow down, reflect a lot. And, but then sometimes you just need to get going. You just need to select something and just, go on your way. So what are those things that you need to move faster on? Maybe it's a decision for something. I know something my father-in-law would say when he was in the choir that I was in, like one time, I think I was like trying to figure out what piece to select or something like that. And he said something about like, we got to stop spinning our wheels. And I was just like, that's brilliant. Like ever since that moment, like I've remembered that, sometimes we got to stop spinning our wheels and just like, you have to go. So like, are you spinning your wheels on something, where you're just ruminating or just getting stuck in the reeds of a decision where you just need to like, just go for something. It might not be the exact right thing right now, but making a decision, and this is what a lot of, research, I believe, even talks about this, or business books, or I've read a little bit about this and like how it's more important to make a decision. You're going to be better off if you make a decision for something instead of letting it fester, because as you let it fester, it's going to take up mental energy. It depends on the decision. Maybe you do need more time. Like obviously weigh the decision. Like if it's one that needs a lot of weight, but oftentimes we just spin our wheels. We don't make the decision. So sometimes you just got to make the call. So are you spinning your tires? Ask yourself that. What areas of your life might you be spinning your tires and you just need to get going? Maybe you need to move faster on improving an element or a skill. One way that I've been doing that is I've been trying to improve my typing speed. I've definitely made improvements. I think I'm up to about 80 words per minute. That's my like top right now. Hoping to leap above that. I would love to hit like 150. That would be amazing. Like that's like the all-time goal. It's just like a fun thing to work towards. But yeah, maybe there's like a skill or something, an element that you do maybe on a daily basis, or you want to get better at. Maybe you want to learn something. Maybe you just need to go faster on that, put more intensity into it. Or maybe you need to complete a project that you've been holding off on. Just like get going on it. Don't put it off another week. Just Nike. And along the same lines, like maybe you need to start working towards a life dream or goal, like I did, starting this podcast. That was like a big thing growing up. I always wanted to start a podcast, and it never happened until I started it 31 episodes ago. Hard to believe we're on episode 30. So yeah, that's I think the overarching message to you is like, look at your life and see what are the areas that you're moving too slow. Maybe you're like the tortoise in the story. You're just like, moving slow and methodically, which can be good sometimes. We all need those times where we just like slow down and move methodically. But there's also times where you need to like make that sprint. You just need to like Nike. You need to just go for something. And that's where you get your rabbit, and you get your rabbit feet on and just Nike. That's the big thing. It's like, don't, I don't know whether or not like a certain circumstance in your life, you need to be the rabbit or the turtle. I'll just call it a turtle now. Which you need to do, but oftentimes like that answer is like inside you, and you just have to like have that time again to just like reflect a little bit, assess the situation, and then make a call whether you need to slow down in your life or maybe speed up in certain areas. Yeah, well, that's been fun. So the moral of the story, friends, is slow down, everyone. You're moving too fast. Frames can't catch you when you're moving like that. And listen to Jack Johnson. He's awesome. And then how do you write like you're running out of time? How do you write like tomorrow won't arrive? How do you write like you need it to survive? How do you write every second you're alive? Like Lin-Manuel Miranda wrote in Alexander Hamilton, the song Nonstop from the great musical. So that's it, friends. Hope you enjoy this episode. If you want to be let me try that again. If you want to be part of the Messy fam, please subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you're at, we're there. And also feel free to reach out. I love hearing from you. Message me on all the social media platforms. I'm at Paul Dittus. And if you join my email list, you can always reply to one of those emails, and I would love to correspond with you. Well, hope all is well. And you can sign up real quick. You can sign up for the email list, pauldittus.com. So pauldittus.com. So yeah, if you want to join the email list, go there, put in your email, and you'll get my 3 things each week. I try to send out 3 things. Usually like a YouTube video, podcast, and a quote. So if you're interested in that, I'll see you there. Until next time, my friends, stay messy.